Hello everyone, and welcome today as we've come together to remember Mary. And I just wanted to say at the outset, before I forget, those of you that are going to talk, and those of you that aren't, you're just going to sit there, it's okay to have a laugh. It's okay to have a cry. Did you know that? This is like an adult cry room at a time like this. And you're all here because you loved Mary. And she has touched your life, and there are things about her that will never leave you. The sound of her voice, the strength that she gave you, the inspiration that she brought to your life over the years. So I just want from the outset, even though we're all proper, and some special people have worn ties even today, some haven't, that even though it's a formal thing, I want it to be informal. I want you to be relaxed and just imagine you've just had a little glass of wine and you're refreshed. Mary Lauraine Wood was truly an amazing person. She was a champion, in fact. As you know, she was loving, she was caring, always there to pick you up with a word of encouragement. She was such a life coach, and she wasn't afraid to speak the truth graciously. Mary was a woman of integrity. She loved a joke, had a great sense of humour, a woman of faith. She loved God and loved people. Mary Wood loved her family with all of her heart, especially her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren, and they loved their nanny Meg big time. So just before I invite Rebecca, James and Opal to come and just share that beautiful old hymn, Amazing Grace, I'm just going to pray and ask God's blessing to be upon our time together. Is that okay if I do that? God, we just want to thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for Jesus. And I want to thank you for the privilege we have in honouring Mary today and for her love of you. Help us, Lord, as we talk about her, and I pray that you would surround her family with your peace, with your joy. Lord, that they would know you as Mary knew you. Father, I thank you for this time. We commit it to you and all those that would speak. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, James. Thank you, Opal.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Oh my gosh. Here we go. Just apologize.
Sorry for the wait.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I shall possess within the veil a life of joy and peace. The earth shall soon dissolve like snow. The sun forbear to shine, but God who called me here below will be forever mine.
Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks, James. Thank you, Opal. Sang great, didn't she? It's a tough gig, as I sort of alluded to earlier, to stand up and talk at a time like this, especially for a son to talk about his mum. But Guy has bit the bullet, and he's going to proudly come and talk about his mother. So thank you, Guy. Over to you, mate. Give him a hand, yeah.
And thanks to Kath and Tim for helping out. If I get a bit mushy, I'll try and get through the other side of it. Anyway, so I'm Guy, Mary's eldest son. Tim and Kath. Thanks, Jack. And yeah, I'll do what it's trendy to do and get my phone out, which is something of a feat for me. Righto, talk about Mum. Easy to do. It's Mum was born in 1936 at Coramba, or so I'm told, by a couple of the oldies here, and lived up on the eastern Dorrigo, which some of you will know is between Dorrigo and Coramba, and the family had gone up there chasing hardwoods, and it was an interesting time. It was before the war, and there's Mum's dad, Merv, had about the last bullock team that pulled timber out of Moulton and Timsvale and all those sorts of things, big hardwood logs, and took them down the mill. And then Dad's dad was the first bloke to drive a truck up on the eastern Dorrigo, had an old blitz after the war. They bought a lot of vehicles back, and so it was a real change of time. And Mum, when you think about it, the life that she lived, starting off, walking to school, riding horses to school, and dingoes around the place, and just living in a house without a PowerPoint. It's hard to get your head around. And then here she was, up until a few months ago, using one of these things, and it's just amazing the life that she led. And she went to primary school up there, I do believe. Paddy can correct us later. Yeah. And then there was no high school up there, so she went down to Grafton to St Mary's, the convent down there. And Mum, just if anybody sat around talking to Mum for a while, it wouldn't take long before those old stories come out about the nuns and the convent and the life that she had there. But I think, look, Mum's mum was a really beautiful, devout lady. Just loved the Lord. And and Mum was like that from a whole time. I remember being a teenager and getting dragged off to confession on Saturday afternoon. It was always the same thing, bless me, Father, for I've sinned. It's been, 7 days since my last confession. And then you'd be sitting there thinking up sins, you know. Well, I picked on my sisters and I probably punched my brother and I probably told a lie to somebody. And then you'd get 3 Our Fathers and 2 Hail Marys and you'd go out and knock them off and away you'd go, all cleaned up. Mass Sunday, and I remember a couple of times Mass Wednesdays, but I think that was just to, like, draw a line in the sand with Mum, you know, the weekends is great, but Wednesdays. But back growing up, Mum was at Mass in the convent, like, I think every day. Somebody might stand corrected, but anyway. And then when she was away at school, she always tells a story about how she got a telegram, it must have been, saying, don't get off the train at Glenray, come down to Sawtell, get off the train to Sawtell. Anybody's heard that story? Yeah. Anyway, Pop had bought a share in a mill at Sawtell and built a house down there and moved down there. And it was at Sawtell that she met this sporty character called Bill Wood, who, when you see the photos, you can see, like, he looked really dapper, you know, and really sporty. And so they hit it off pretty well. Pop went from the sawmill to the bakery at Sawtell. And they lived out the back of the bakery. And then Mum got a job at Blinken's Pharmacy and then went to Sydney for a bit, come back and married Dad and set up. And I remember the early days in Sawtell, moving to, I think, 3 different places where we lived. And Mum setting up house and all those things. She was just an excellent, like, mum, you know. And then I always thought I was a slave because Saturday mornings I'd be helping to polish the floors, the lino floors, and it was all hands and knees and scrubbing, and I'm thinking, oh. And then I realised she had all these babies coming along and she needed somebody to do something apart from her in the house. But she gave us all a really good childhood. I remember growing up knowing how to make a bed. Not for you young people. We made beds properly. You had to fold the corners. Nurse's corner. Yes, had to do that properly. And so anyway, everything was proper. Shoes were shined every day, going to school, and all of those great things. And it was just great because you grow up and you move into a house when you go to uni or whatever, your house with housemates, and nobody knows how to do nothing. You think, oh, Mum trained me up really well. And a lot of those lessons stick, don't they? Anyway, Dad got a transfer, I think it was 1964 or 5, to Wentworth, Sydney, working in George Street and Pitt Street, and they bought a house out in Wentworthville, which is now Constitution Hill. Seriously, what's wrong with Wentworthville? But somebody must have got their nose a bit high in the air. Anyway, and that was great. Mum loved it, being in a house that they owned, and just had a great time setting it up. But having to pay off the house, I don't know if you girls remember, but Mum had us. Things must have been skinny, because Mum took on cleaning, which means she dropped Dean and I at school at about 4:30 in the morning, so she'd go. I don't think it was quite 4:30, but you know, she'd go off cleaning somebody's house, probably 7:30 or 8 o'clock. And anyway, but she convinced us that spaghetti, like just old-fashioned spaghetti and tomato sauce, that was some exotic Italian dish that was all the rage in Sydney, you know, because Italian cuisine was big in those days. And then chocos. She introduced chocos. Anybody here ever eaten a choco? Anybody here ever eaten a choco and not thrown up afterwards? I mean, but somehow Mum had us convinced that chocos were just the most marvellous food. It took me a while to realise the only reason that they were so good is because they were free off the neighbour's garage, growing all over the place. Anyway, skinny times, and then got to move out to Griffith. Mum loved it out there. She was. I'll look at my notes every now and then, just keep a little bit on track. And Mum got so much into it. I think she really loved being a mum and being a housewife, because out at Griffith there was so much fruit in the irrigation area. And I remember all these Vicola bottles stacked up, and they all weren't just stacked, but every peach half and every bit of pear was stacked in a precise order around the place. Took great pride in the Vicola bottles and the preserving. And then I remember she got the bargain of a lifetime at a cannery out there at one stage, and she bought all of these cans of prunes and pears and two fruit and you name it, put them all in the cupboard, and that was going to feed the family forever. And then we went up, I think, to Sawtell for Christmas holidays. Come back, there'd been a mouse plague. Every label was eaten off every can. So you'd be there, oh, I feel like some pears for dessert, you know, and you'd open up and there'd be baked beans. And you'd never have a clue what was what, but I remember Mum being distraught, opening the cupboard and seeing all this confetti on the shelves and then all these cans with no labels. And it was pretty funny. And only there 9 months, Mum and Dad got a transfer up to Murwillumbah, and Mum was just so proud. Got up there in the bank, put us into this huge house. And you two are probably old enough to remember. Yeah. It was a big house. And Mum was just, loved it. And being back close to the beach and everything. And she was a bit naughty. I remember every now and then she'd do a shop in at Tweed Heads or Coolangatta or somewhere, and she'd put me in the back of the station wagon, old green, whatever it was, station wagon, Holden, take us in, and she'd go shopping and drop me at Coolangatta, and I'd surf all afternoon and miss school. And mate, she was a cool mum. Took up golf up there, and a lot of you might not realise she loved golf and played, I think, every week, and got reasonably good at it too. And anyway, we were up there a good few years and then got the shift to Bathurst, which was completely not Murwillumbah. It worked out pretty well for me. Yeah. Met this cute blonde thing. And I remember I started going out with Jill, and then Mum was just, she was perplexed, didn't know what to do. So she actually went and asked the priest if it would be all right for me to go out with a Protestant girl. And thankfully the priest said it would be, because I don't know what would have happened, and especially the idea of, you know, the son who was destined for the priesthood as far as Nan and Mum was concerned. And I remember as soon as I saw Jill, I realised I was never going to be in the priesthood. And the priest agreed that it was all right for me to go to the Methodist youth group on Friday nights. And anyway, so that was just incredible for Mum, you know, having a son go off to a Protestant youth group. It was something else. But anyway, worked out all right. And wherever she went, I also remember Bathurst. It was cold. Do you just remember her getting the knitting machine? Yeah. Wasn't that just a joy? Yeah. All of a sudden, did Mum ever make you use jumpers at school to wear to school? Yeah. Yeah, the knitting machine. You're the only kid at school that's walking around in a home knitted jumper with the V coming down to about there, because I don't know what happened to the... Anyway, Mum was very proud of it. And I sort of spent a lot of cold days at Bathurst High School because I'd take the jumper off and hide it somewhere. Anyway, but she loved it. She loved making the home and setting us up. And she was just... You couldn't imagine a better mother. I don't imagine. And you just always felt loved. You were always looked after. There was always, seemed to me, every night was my favourite meal once the chocos died off. And it was just consistently good. And Mum loved Dad, Dad loved Mum, and home was good. And it was just, she gave us the best upbringing that a kid could ever want, I reckon. A champion. And then, where'd we go then? West Wyalong, that's right. I went overseas, come back and they're gone. Moved up. I can't hardly imagine Mum. I was 3 months hitchhiking around Canada and America and Mexico and Guatemala and Belize and all of these places where personal security isn't guaranteed. And Mum no letters, there was no mail, there was no phones, there was no, Instagram posties going back in 1979, and got back and Mum was just so relieved to see me. She hugged me till I thought my ears were going to fall off. And anyway, it was good. It was quite an experience for Mum, I think, letting a fella go. But they got back up to Swansea and just loved it. Got back near the beach. Dad loved the fishing. Mum loved cooking the fish that Dad caught, and it was just good days. I didn't mention that they had Matt along the way. That's right, had Matt at Bathurst just before we left there. And that was really good. He was the cutest little fella, but it was really funny because Matt was only a few months old and we moved to West Wyalong. West Wyalong's a small town with 2,500 people, 3,000 people. And because Jill comes over for a visit, and then Jill and myself are wheeling Matt up the main street. Of course, everybody knew, didn't they, that it wasn't really Mum's little baby, but it was... And the gossip machine in West Wyalong was just going overtime. Yeah. But anyway, it's all funny. Mum loved Swansea, and it was up at Swansea that she had I think a spiritual regeneration or renewal or something like that. But she'd always been, seemed to me growing up, I don't know about the girls, but there was a lot of rules, you know, going to church all the time. But then Mum had this change at Swansea where it sort of like it went from a head to a heart. All of a sudden, she would always talk about the Lord, but then it went to my Lord, you know. It was like personalised it. And there was something about the inner security, I think, that she had and the confidence that she had that changed. And she was always just the most beautiful person in the world. But she, like, I don't know whether it became a bit more of just this inner peace, which was just an amazing, beautiful thing to watch happening to your mum, you know. And it was like, anyway, you look at, she's got her Bible here, you have a look at that and you realise the amount of underlining and highlighting and that sort of stuff. I don't know how many hours she would have spent reading that thing. Yeah, notes everywhere. And it's been great this last while. I've been reading one of Mum's old Bibles and all her little handwritten notes and that sort of stuff that's in it. You think, oh, mate, that was a wise woman. And just a wise woman. And anyway, I'm getting off track. She ended up at Port Macquarie. I'm pretty sure that was so she could be closer to Auntie Pat, and had a really good time there. And then Alzheimer's sort of crept up on her, and she went up to Tamworth. And Kath and Mark had just got to acknowledge the work, the care that they put into Mum in the last couple of years or so. It was just the most beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Anyway, where am I? Yeah.
Where your feet are.
Sorry?
I said where your feet are.
Where I feel, that's where I am. But yeah, I just like to say tribute to Mum. We're all here. You're all here because you know you loved her to bits, and we all did. I don't know. We probably each of us have heard words come out of Mum's mouth that were just like she's put a finger right on it, you know, and the wisdom that came out. And I suspect particularly for the young women, I've just heard like Emma say things, and different of the young women say that Mum, Nana Meg just had things to say at the right time. It was just like she was this confident, wise, beautiful, strong woman, and just beautiful. But anyway, I'd like to say thanks everybody for coming, and Mum be tickled pink to see everybody here. And I just think of an out like with her arm around Dad, you know. Anyway, thanks, heaps.
Well, thanks, Guy. I'm always amazed with Guy that he can just get up and talk. Just fantastic. My son always said that Guy was the best school teacher, and he hasn't lost it. He's still so interesting, isn't he? Jess, could you bring up my notes, please? So, Guy talked about his Auntie Pat, and she's going to come now and read a special psalm from the Bible. And so thank you, Pat, as you come and honour your sister today. Take your time too, no rush. You're going to do this great.
Get into it. Wasn't that wonderful hearing so much about Mary? Okay. Where is it? Here we are.
She said it was on her phone, but
Uh,
whereabouts is it?
oh, God. Wait on, darling. Look, I'm shaking. Psalm 139. No,
She's
we
on
don't want-
YouTube.
That's a good idea.
Do you want the prayer?
Yeah, just push right at the top.
This one?
Yeah. Sorry about that, girl. Lord, you look deep inside me and you know all about me. You know when I sit down and you know when I get up. Even when you're far away, you understand what I'm thinking about. You see me when I go out. You see me when I stay at home. You know everything I do. Yes, Lord, I open my mouth to speak. You know what I will say. You are all around me, in front of me and behind me. You put your hand on me to help me. You know so much about me. It is so wonderful. I cannot understand it. My thoughts cannot teach as high as that. Is there anywhere that I can go to run away from your spirit? Anywhere that I go, you are already there. If I go up to heaven, you do there. If I dig deep down into the ground to reach Sheol, you would be there too. If I fly away to where the sun rises in the east, or to the other side of the east, to the other side of the sea in the west, you would be there. You would use your hand to lead me even there. Your strong right hand would keep me safe. I might say, I will hide myself in the dark, and the light around me will change into night. But it is never too dark for you to see. For you, the night has as much light as the day. Darkness, the light are the same to you. You made every part of me. You made me grow inside my mother before I was born. I thank you for the wonderful way that you have made me. Everything you do, I know all this is true. While you caused me to grow to a secret place, none of my body was hidden from you. You made me deep in the earth. Your eyes watched me before I was born. Before I had seen the light of day, you decided how many days I would live. You wrote it down in your book. You have so many thoughts about me, God, that I cannot understand them all. They are too many for me to count, more than the sand on the shore of the sea. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Thanks, Pat, for honouring your sister with that special reading. Well, granddaughter Kristen is going to come now, and she's going to speak about Nanny Meg. And I believe the grandchildren are going to stand around her. So thank you, Kristen.
So I'm Kristen, Mary's eldest and possibly shortest grandchild. Everyone did so well, I'll try to keep it together. Nan really was the rock of our family. She was consistent and wise and loving, and you just always knew what you could expect from her no matter what was going on. When we were little, she was strict in a firm but fair kind of way and ran a very tight ship whenever all of us grandkids arrived in the summer holidays. With so many of us there, she had to be. Sometimes all 5 of her grown kids and their partners and at least 10 of her 14 little grandkids at a time. A favourite memory shared amongst my cousins is of coming home from mornings at the beach. We all had to strip off in the front yard, line up and get hosed down before we could get inside. She knew sand gets into places that sand has no business being, and she absolutely was not having it brought into her house. Nan didn't come to the beach much herself. She'd stay home prepping the best salad sandwiches in the world for our return. We kids had to sit on a plastic tablecloth on the lounge room floor to eat, usually with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in the VCR. The Wood kids especially loved this about Nan's house not having a TV at home themselves. Monopoly was a family favourite when we all gathered, and once that board game came out, the sweet, quiet Mary, who never argued with anyone, suddenly became a fierce competitor. I still remember having to playfully rouse on her at 77 years of age for arguing about rent, houses and hotels with my girls like they were her siblings. Nan was a big stickler for the rules in any situation. We all gave it a try, but no way would she let us sit in the front seat of her beloved VL Commodore before we turned 13, even if our own parents let us do it. Her masseur sandals were memorable when it came to rules too. They were comfortable footwear, yes, but also highly effective behaviour management tools. I remember Uncle Matt, who was only 5 years older than me, being guided by these masseurs occasionally, possibly after trying to teach us littler kids some crazy stunt like sliding down the handrails of the front stairs. Nan didn't need to raise her voice. She just had to reach down towards that sandal and suddenly we were all model citizens. My cousins have recently shared with me some of their favourite memories. Jake remembers enjoying quiet mornings, laying next to her in bed while she read verses from her Bible. And I think we all loved bringing her a cup of tea in bed once we were old enough to make them. Amy remembers enjoying back scratches from Nan on the couch while watching TV. Isaac loved his long chats with her when she came to Nord's Wharf, which of course also involved plenty of tea. Beck loved learning to cook and shopping for a birthday outfit with Nan at Charlestown Square. For me, living with Nan at her Opal Cove home when I was 19 was a special turning point. Spending quality time with her as an adult, she became a confidant to me. She was an amazing listener and always encouraged me without ever judging. She met all of us exactly where we were at in life and guided us gently, never telling us what to do or shaming us for our choices, even when they weren't the best ones for us. A piece of wisdom that she offered, as Guy said, to many of us at difficult times was that no one else can feel what we feel in our hearts, reminding us that our own feelings and beliefs mattered more than anyone else's opinion of the decisions that we made in our life, and that we should trust the truth in our own hearts. I can't help but smile when I remember the respectful curiosity she always had about our love lives, especially the single grandkids. I wouldn't be surprised if she goes on a spiritual matchmaking mission to find us all a perfect match now that she's watching over us from above. As our family grew and changed over the years, Nan always welcomed in every new grandchild. Alison, Mitchell, Ruby, Emily, Lockie, Gabby, Dom, loving them all as fiercely as those who were of her own flesh and blood, and they loved her dearly too. Her love as a grandmother was limitless. Now that I'm a grandmother myself, I have finally begun to understand the true depth of that, and we were so lucky to have her. I'll leave the rest to Lily, who's going to give a great-grandchild's perspective on Nan's legacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, grandchildren. That was special. She would be so proud of you. Always will be. Lily's going to come now. Lily's a great-granddaughter. I'm going to invite the great-grandchildren to come and join Lily as she shares her memories of Nanny Meg. Thank you.
Oh my God, there's a lot. Yeah, there's plenty. There's heaps. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lily, and today I have the honour of speaking on behalf of all of Nana Meg's great-grandchildren. Our beautiful Nana Meg left this earth with an amazing 27 great-grandchildren, ranging from Jemison, aged 26, all the way down to sweet Daphne at just 7 weeks old. Today we're here to celebrate the life of an extraordinary woman, Mary Wood. But to us, she was simply our Nana Meg. It's hard to find the right words to say goodbye to someone who has meant so much to so many people. The truth is, no words could ever truly capture the love she gave us or the impact she had on our lives. Nana Meg was kind, loving, funny, beautiful, and a bit cheeky. She had a way of making everyone feel welcome, making us laugh when we needed it the most, and reminding us that family is the most important thing. She loved us so deeply, and we felt that love every time we were with her. Each of us have our own special memories of Nana Meg, but the one I always hold close to my heart is the nickname she gave me, Billy. She called me that after her beloved husband, Bill. Every time she called me Billy, it made me feel special, and now that nickname will forever remind me of her, of the love she had for Pop, and of the love she gave to all of us so freely. As her great-grandchildren, we were so lucky to have her in our lives. We didn't just have a great-grandmother, we had someone who cheered us on, who made us feel safe, who shared her laughter with us, who showed us what unconditional love looks like. Although our hearts are broken today, we're so grateful. Grateful for every hug, every laugh, every story, every piece of advice, and every memory we were lucky enough to make with her. The hardest part about losing someone like Nana Meg isn't just saying goodbye. It's knowing we'll miss hearing her voice, seeing her smile, and feeling her presence at family gatherings. There will always be moments when we'll wish she was still here, but even though we can't see her anymore, we'll carry her with us every day in the way we love one another, in the stories we tell, and in the memories we'll never let fade. On behalf of all the great-grandchildren, thank you, Nana Meg, for loving us so completely. Thank you for shaping our family with your strength, kindness, and endless love. We hope you knew just how much you meant to every one of us. We love you more than words could ever say, and we will miss you every day. Rest peacefully with your Billy boy, Nana Meg, until we meet again. Thank you. Ooh. Ooh.
Thank you, Lily. Can I say Billy? What a cute little name. Bree has a special poem that she'd like to share with us today. Bree, of course, is a granddaughter. And thank you, Bree, as you come and share this poem. Thank you.
Ooh. That was bad timing. That was my baby reading, so that was a lot. You did so well, Lil. I am the granddaughter of a woman who, even broken, kept walking. And every time I doubt my strength, I remember I come from her fire. And from there comes my resilience, my courage, and my magic. Let's remember today that if there were no love, there would be no grief. And though it breaks us, it is also the greatest reminder that we were lucky enough to love someone worth missing forever.
Thank you, Bree. We've got some special photos that family have put together. I know you're going to love some of these visual memories, and I'm going to invite Rebecca and James and Opal to come in and provide some lovely music while you're looking at these photos. Thank you to the photo person up the back. Thank you, Opal. Thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, James. Rebecca, you can really play that harp. That's amazing, isn't it? Family wanted to give an opportunity for any of you who might like to just have a brief memory to share. I don't want you to feel any pressure. You don't have to come up here and share something, but I don't want you to walk out of here today and think, I would have liked to have just said some little thing. So we're just going to have a little time now. And before we just do that, I just want to say a special thank you to son-in-law Mark for the way he's organised today and helped me. Thank you, mate. You're a champion bloke. And you've really honoured Mary. And you continue to do that. So over to you. Just come and jump up here and share your thought. But if you don't come up here, it's okay. I don't feel bad about that. So over to you. I'm just going to stand back for a few moments.
I guess someone has to break the ice. Might as well be me. I'm sure that there's a lot of memories out there. So I guess, I had my memories of cherished memories with Nan. In year 5 and 6, I went to a different school, catch the bus back, and sometimes go to Tam's house with Jake, Jess, and Dylan. Sometimes Nan's house, and she'd make you the perfect Vegemite sandwich. She'd even cut the crusts off if that's what you wanted, which to me was very luxurious. And we'd watch Wheel of Fortune together, and yeah, such great memories of Nan, and her wisdom throughout the years. Being able to call her and tell her what you were facing, and always have a set of ears and a wise word. But also, I think I really wanted to give an ode to Bill. His presence is here. Nan's with him now, and which is where, she knew she would be going, which is beautiful. But Bill, I was 2 when he passed away. My first memory was actually his funeral, walking through the sand in there around Belmont, where we're headed shortly. So although I don't have a personal thing to say to Bill, I always felt his presence with Nan. What a strong man. You heard about his larrikin character, but, coming from what I'm sure was humble origins, building a family, carrying them around, purchasing the house, setting Nan up for, even though when he wasn't here for all these decades, she's been safe, she's been sound, she's been taken care of from beyond the grave by Bill. So I wanted to give an ode to Bill. That's me.
Yeah, I just want to say just what an amazing mother-in-law she was. You hear the horror stories of mothers-in-law. She was nothing like that. She was the most beautiful mother-in-law you could ever hope for. And I'm just so blessed that I got to be her daughter-in-law. And it's just all the years of her caring and love. And when we sort of moved up from Bendigo with nothing, she let us overtake her house for like 12 weeks before we moved into the place in Caves Beach. And I don't know how she put up with us, actually. But she just did it all with grace, with kindness, never complained. And so I'm always grateful for that. And it's just a beautiful memory of her. And I, like James said, she's in a good place, reunited with her husband now. Thank you.
I'm Jess, Tammy's daughter, but I love Nan, and most people who know me know that we were, close like she is with most of us, and always had a wealth of, knowledge and wisdom to share. And for those that know me, I'm quite the adventurous sort, and she's always would be like, "You're a goer." You're always a man, is what she would say. But a lot of, who I am, where I am and how I am in my life comes from Nan and from the wisdom that she has shared with us. And although we lead quite different lives, she's adventurous, she's moving around. She was always so brave in going to these new places, creating new communities, and, sharing her life and love and wisdom with everyone. So I had just written a little something that said, for Nan, when you told me that I could do anything, I believed you. You are the woman that showed me strength, independence, understanding, kindness, capability, and steadfastness. When you told me I could do anything, I believed you because I saw that you had done and achieved. I love you, you're a goer, you amaze me, and I hope that it's beautiful where you are.
Yeah, I'm just smiling thinking about how funny and cheeky Nan was. Her sense of humour just always, was great. She knew how to make everyone laugh, which was an amazing thing about her. I just remember when she came over to Granny and Pop's, Guy and Jill's place, and we were all having dinner together, and she went to get something, and she came back. She was like 10 metres away, and my brother said something like, "Oh, she's just so slow." And then she just turns around, and she's like, "I'm old, but I'm not deaf." And we were just laughing for the next 20 minutes. It was just so funny. And she was very cheeky. She was a cheeky grandma, and I love her, so thanks.
Is there one more? No. That's it? Hey, thanks. Thank you so much for sharing those little words, impromptu. Oh, thank you. Take your time.
Don't go away, Guy. Don't go away, Guy. Come back up here. Well, I'm of Mary's generation. Mary and I were friends from school all our lives. My very best friend, and she married my brother. She wore my wedding frock. She said, "Oh, I loved your wedding dress." And I said, "Well, you can wear it if you want." So any wedding photos you see of Mary, that's it's our wedding dress. We wore it, both of us. And she's been always special to me. Always loved her. She really put me on the right track a few times with her quiet manner, but she could be firm when she needed to be. And all the things that Guy said, I remember all those things. And I'm just so privileged to be old, but here. And I just want to say goodbye to Mary, my best friend. Thank you.
Thank you. That was lovely. It's a lovely atmosphere here today, and there's a sense of freedom, and I feel that the memories of Mary have brought about that. I don't want to embarrass Guy too much, but I did think he looked a bit like Bill. You reckon? It was a chip off the old block? Billy. I alluded to Guy's skills as a school teacher earlier, and when he was talking here today, he'd get back to his notes and he'd get off the track. But that's what we love about Guy, because he's interesting, he's not boring, and he's lived life to the full. And I just think for each one of us today, as we get ready to close our service here, for you to know freedom to be yourself, for you to know the freedom that you can have in getting off the track and being different to someone else. And sometimes people think, well, knowing God, being a Christian, is boring. You've got to stay on the track. But I know for many of us, including myself, that we've got off the track. But it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be free. And I believe that Jesus paid an incredible price so that we could know freedom. He was made sin, who knew no sin, so that we could become the righteousness of God. Not by our works, nothing that we could do. It's just everything he's done so that we could be free to live our own personality out, to be who you were born to be, whether you be crazy, whether you be quiet, whether you be musical, whether you're not, whether you can talk or whether you're shy, whatever you are. You loved Mary just because of who she was. She was quiet, but she was strong. She was competitive. I saw the smirk on her face playing the Monopoly game. You loved her. Lily said, we felt safe when we're around Mary, Nanny Meg. God's safe. He's not an old man in the sky with a big stick. He's safe. He's a safe place. For you to know that is to know life, I believe. Hope that was okay, Mary. We're going to close in a minute, as I just said. And Rebecca and James, Opal, we're going to close with that great old hymn, How Great Thou Art. But just to let you know that there is refreshments being served at the back of the church. Before we go to Belmont Cemetery for a brief graveside service there to lay Mary's body to rest. As the cortege is leaving the building here, there'll be white hankies being waved. That was a special thing that she did. You saw the last photo of the movie of Mary. They're waving a hanky. And Yeah, and then later on this afternoon, you're all welcome to Swansea RSL. So could we just stand together, please? God, I thank you for the privilege we've had and we will have, and this family and friends will know of the influence and the freedom that Mary has brought to their lives. I thank you for the eternal impact that she has had. We commit her into your care today. We know she's in your presence. Her body is here, but her soul and spirit are with you. And I pray your blessing on each person here today as we break for some time together, have a chat, enjoy some memories. We just give you thanks for life eternal. Amen.
When I in awesome wonder consider